Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with another brand new Mattel Jurassic World Hammond Collection release, and as you can see, we have the SDCC exclusive Jimmy Buffett. I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to Mattel for sending this over and allowing me the opportunity to check this out, take a look at it a little bit early, and of course share this with you guys, and then maybe you can get your pre-order in if you have not done so already. You can see as far as the box art goes, it looks very cool. We've got again the name Jimmy Buffett here on the front, and within the Buffett part of the name you can see a super cool image of Jimmy Buffett as well as some pterosaurs back there, again basically recreating the scene in Jurassic World where you do briefly see Jimmy Buffett after the pterosaurs are basically attacking and everything. And you can also see the Jurassic World logo down here. If you move over here to the side, we've got Mattel Creations, because that is exactly where you can purchase this right now. If you actually go to the other side, you basically don't really have anything going on over there. And then up here on the top you can see Hammond Collection, and then here on the back again Jimmy Buffett bubbles up. A music industry icon, Jimmy Buffett made his Jurassic World debut when Dimorphodons attacked from the sky following the destruction of the aviary. With dinosaurs on the loose and park guests in imminent danger, his priorities are clearly in order as he rescues two margaritas during the mayhem and searches for shelter and for his lost shaker of salt. And you can see that here along with the margarita, of course, on the back. So let's pop this open and check it out. So there is the set, and basically what we have going on, actually let's move it back just a little bit more. You can see it is in the shape of a blender, and how cool is that? That's like perfect, of course, for Jimmy Buffett. And if you bring it in and take a look at it, we've got the handle here on the back, of course, which I think we could probably bend out to turn into an actual blender handle. So I haven't perfectly assembled it, but you can basically see that you can take the cardboard here and then fold it in and then assemble the entire thing so that the handle looks like the handle of the blender. But I'm going to keep it like this, I think, because I'm probably going to put it back in the box when I'm done with it, so I know it's nice and safe. I like to store it that way. But you can see again, it looks like the blender from each and every side. So basically we have the window area where you can see Jimmy Buffett in there. I also love that there's a really cool backdrop behind him where you can basically see again everything going on as far as like the chaos from that scene back behind Jimmy Buffett. That's really cool, and definitely looks neat. You've got all the people basically running for their lives back there, and then of course the Dimorphodon and Jimmy Buffett himself in his margarita glass. So let's pop this now out of the blender area and we'll check it out from there. And just in case you wanted to get a better look at the backdrop contained within the packaging, you can see it doesn't get any better than that when it comes to the way you would want to display this Jimmy Buffett figure. That backdrop is perfection and looks super cool, and you can see some images of the Dimorphodon flying in. Honestly, just fantastic artwork when it comes to this set. You know, Mattel always, I think, puts their all into the SDCC exclusives, and you can see that yet again with this set in the packaging alone. But of course, included in the set, I've taken everything out, but one thing I have in here is actually the salt shaker. I'm not going to pull that out. It's taped in there because I don't know if there's really anywhere specific that it would go, and I don't want to lose it. If I find a spot on the set where it can go, I'll take it out, but right now it is still contained within the tape. And then of course we also have the stand where we would place our Jimmy Buffett, which looks really nice. Of course, you've got the margarita, which honestly is actually making me really thirsty just looking at it. Then we also have our Dimorphodon. There are 3 different Dimorphodon, all in a flying sort of attack position, exactly as you would have seen in that scene in Jurassic World. We also have the stands for the Dimorphodon to go on to. And then, of course, our Jimmy Buffett himself, and he looks really quite nice. Definitely a very nicely sculpted figure, and of course an incredibly cool entry into the Hammond collection that I definitely did not see coming. I was really quite surprised with this one, but really quite happy with it now that it's finally here. So let's jump to a closer look and we'll check it out further from there. So we'll begin with Mr. Jimmy Buffett, and you can see when it comes to the overall appearance, they absolutely captured his likeness really quite nicely. We can obviously see that the face looks pretty good as far as the sculpt goes. We can also see he is currently wearing glasses, which are very nicely translucent. If you can focus on it, camera, there we go. You can kind of see his eyes back there. I don't know if the glasses are removable. I think there's a chance maybe they'd be removable, but I'm not going to do it because I don't want to damage him. He is also wearing his hat, which you can see there, which also looks quite nice. His hair is sculpted pretty nicely, and he does have a mixture of black and grays in there, again, to give him, I guess, his look in the film, the aging process, which we all have to deal with. Also, you can see here, if again my camera focus, there we go, you can see his mouth is slightly open. You can see his teeth on the inside of his mouth as well. And you can also see a little bit of like a satin paint there around his mouth, making it almost look like he's got a whole bunch of his drink on his face there, as it has kind of a little bit of a wet look. But as you move down, you can see that he has a shirt sculpted with a very nice amount of like wrinkling and stuff throughout. You can see again the shirt has a very realistic look to it as far as the way it's sculpted. Again, lots of wrinkling here on the back as well, painted with a coral tone. As you move down, he is wearing some bracelets on, actually a bracelet on one side, a watch on the other side, which you can see right there. Again, even a little extra paintwork to the watch, as you can see, a gray or a silver and then a blue right there in the center. And then as you move down, he does have two margaritas in his hands. They also have a very nice look to them. You can see they do have a genuine wet look to it, because they have, of course, are meant to represent margaritas. They're going to be wet, and obviously if he's holding it in this position, he's going to be spilling it, so we'll have to change the positioning of his hands so he's holding them more upright. But they do look really good. Again, the cups also have a translucency to them, which is pretty cool. As you move down, he is wearing shorts. The shorts as well have all sorts of creases and stuff to them, which look really nice. He's got side pockets and stuff. And then as you move down, you can see the legs. He has some musculature sculpted out within his legs. Again, the skin tone is nicely done. And then as you move down, you can see that he is wearing like some flip-flops here, which also look pretty good. They are painted with a dark brown. As far as the articulation goes, you can see you can move the head side to side, and he can do a little bit of a nod. Typical Hammond collection articulation. The arms can also go up and down and swivel, as can the elbows. Again, you can move them forward and back and then swivel. And the wrists as well, if we can get a nice spot where we can see it. You can see you can move the wrists down and back, and then also swivel those. The cups are removable from his hand, so that's also a plus if you don't want to have him with the cups in his hand. And then as you move down further, of course, you've got midsection articulation right there. You can also move the legs forward and back and out away from the body to give him the ability to do some splits, mimicking Jean-Claude Van Damme, I guess. You can see the articulation is above the knee and below the knee, so you have lots of articulation in the knee, and then the legs can swivel right here, basically right at the bottom of the shorts. You can see the legs themselves can actually swivel, which is really nice as far as the articulation aspect goes. And then to take it just even a little step further, as you move down, he does also have ankle articulation, which is really, really nice, very impressive. And if you want to, you can snap his ankle and break it, I guess, but that would be a pretty mean thing to do to poor Mr. Jimmy Buffett. But the figure itself is awesome and sports some incredible articulation, very nice, very precise paintwork. Then we also, of course, have our Dimorphodons. Now, the Dimorphodons are basically the mini Dimorphodons that I believe we've had in the Mattel line before. Maybe they seem like maybe a little bit bigger, but I'm not entirely sure about that. But you can see they are painted pretty nicely. We have a greenish tone with a little red in the face, and then a green eye, a light green eye with a black pupil. The teeth are actually painted out as well, which is really cool. And then as you move back through the body, you can see an orangish tone here in the undersides of the wings, as well as on the upper sides. It's just a little bit more, I would say, as far as what's applied on the upper sides of the wings. The wings do have, as far as the like orangish brown tone that we have here, it does have a satin shine to it, which is interesting, but again, it does look pretty decent as far as the figure goes. I feel like the coloration actually replicates the Pteranodon from Jurassic World pretty nicely. I'm not entirely sure if any of the Dimorphodon had this exact color scheme, but there was a whole lot going on in that scene, so I'd have to go back and rewatch it. But you can see more of that reddish tone in the face here on this side. Again, sculpt-wise, it does look very nice. It's definitely a very nice Dimorphodon. And then you can see we do have two more as well, but they look to be all the exact same. Like, there's no difference as far as the pose or anything. They are all, I believe, the same Dimorphodon. Yeah, definitely, you can see each one looks to be the same. So still really cool. It's definitely going to look nice once we display it. And then as far as the actual base goes, you can see we do have the Margarita here, which also again has a nice genuine wet look to it. My camera's freaking because it's green, but you can see it has a nice genuine wet look to it. You can also see that it has a nice translucency to not only the liquid and the ice and everything that you see floating in it, but also the cup itself as you move through. And then you move down, basically down into here, you have like a straw sort of a look to where the drink is sitting. And then you also have the peg holes for the Dimorphodon to go into. And then as you move down, you have kind of like a bamboo sort of a look here that circles around the entire thing. And that's how the entire base looks. It can also turn, and I think that's going to cause this to turn on. Looks like there's no button. Let's just go ahead and give it a turn. So as you can see, we do have some sound effects and stuff going on for it. And then, of course, front and center, you can see a really cool green Jurassic World logo. So I'm going to go ahead, get everything assembled, and then we'll check it all out once it's put together. And again, check out the light and sound aspect. So we have it all now fully assembled, and look at how incredibly cool it looks once it is assembled. You can see you have the Dimorphodon up there. You can actually put the Dimorphodon basically facing any direction you'd like. This is the way I currently have them, but you can turn them completely around if you choose to. We clearly have very nice clear stands that go with them, and then Jimmy Buffett actually has like some peg holes on the underside of his feet and then some pegs on the top of that Margarita glass where he can stand. And what's even cooler is we turn this, and as you can see, the Dimorphodon will actually raise and lower, making it look like they are flying in and attacking Jimmy Buffett. So that's super cool. And as you can hear, we'll hear quite a few noises, so I'm going to just keep doing this, at least until we can get through the noises. Obviously, we heard some Dimorphodon noises. Got the sound of the blender and everything going on here. And look at how close that Dimorphodon right there is currently to taking that Margarita glass out of his hands. So close, almost had it. There we can obviously hear Dimorphodons, we can hear people screaming, all sorts of noises, and you can also see this Dimorphodon does actually have the Margarita glass in its mouth right now, so it's taking a drink, I guess. So I guess we'll just sit back and enjoy the song. So that's definitely really fun. Let's go ahead and dim the lights really quickly. We'll go ahead and give it a shot listening to this, or at least checking out a few of the sound effects and light effects with the lights dimmed. So I've actually turned the lights off entirely so we can get a good idea of what this looks like in the dark. Okay, that looked super cool. That definitely looks pretty epic. So as we can clearly see, it looks awesome with the lights dimmed or completely off. And as far as that salt and pepper shaker, I did, kind of check out the images, the stock images for this set, and it looks as though you're basically meant to take the salt shaker and, swap it out for one of the Margarita glasses if you'd like to include that in the diorama. But as far as a size goes for this set, obviously the human figure, Jimmy Buffett, is going to be in the same similar size range a standard Hammond collection figure will be. But as far as a height goes, to the top of the highest Dimorphodon currently, you are looking at just a little over 8.5 inches, or right around 22 centimeters. I don't think there's much else we can do as far as measurements go, so for a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect A Human Being, next to our Mattel SDCC exclusive Mattel Creations, Jimmy Buffett in the Hammond collection. And you can see basically, again, it's the size range you would expect it to be. Of course, as far as the human figure goes, same deal for the Dimorphodon, though they might actually be a little bit bigger than the older minis were. Overall, though, you can see the entire set, once put together and assembled, does have a nice very impressive size to it. I don't think we really need any other comparisons or anything for the set, though, because, I mean, there's not really much else that would compare well with this, so I think we'll just leave it at that as far as comparisons go. So this brand new Mattel Creations Jurassic World SDCC exclusive Hammond Collection Jimmy Buffett figure is actually super cool, and definitely way cooler than I expected it to be, and I don't know why I would expect any less, because every single time Mattel releases one of these SDCC exclusive sets, I'm always so impressed with how much work they put into these to make sure they are as awesome as it gets. And yet again, when it comes to a Jimmy Buffett figure in the Mattel Jurassic World line, they really took that idea and they went ahead and swung this one straight out of the park. Like, everything that they could possibly think of to include, they have included. Jimmy Buffett himself looks great. The sculpt, in my opinion, looks exactly as he does in Jurassic World, even if you only see him for a very brief moment. This is exactly as he looks in the film. And also, again, the inclusion of the Margarita glasses that he is carrying in the film is just a great touch. The fact that he's actually standing on a Margarita glass is the perfect base for him. And I also love the translucency to that drink, giving it the actual genuine wet look, and then looking super cool once you actually apply the light and sound aspect. Like, it looks really neat when it lights up with those beautiful greenish tones. On top of that, of course, Jimmy Buffett sports incredible articulation throughout the course of the entire figure, and then we have the awesome Dimorphodon flying in, and I love the fact that as you turn it, they kind of raise up and down, making it look like they are flying in and attacking Jimmy, you know, basically recreating again the scene in Jurassic World. The inclusion of the sounds and light aspect is awesome. It looks great. The sounds are all basically what you would expect and want to hear. Everything from music all the way down to the Dimorphodons to the sound of a blender. So everything and anything you could possibly expect to find on a Jimmy Buffett Jurassic World figure, which again is so surprising to me, is found on this. And honestly, again, at first I was a little bit honestly really surprised, a little shocked that this was the release for SDCC this year. It's just kind of something that came so far out of left field. I wasn't expecting it, but I'm so happy that this was actually the release, because having it here, it's so unique, so different, and just so over the top awesome. So if you are interested in grabbing one of these and adding it to your collection, I will include a link in the description to where you can grab it from Mattel Creations right now. Now keep in mind, of course, that this is an SDCC exclusive technically and a Mattel Creations exclusive. So that means that this is a limited set, which means if you really do want it, you definitely want to place that pre-order now. Grab it before it sells out so you can add it to your collection. Also, I want to give one last shout out and thank you again to Mattel for sending this over to me absolutely for free so I can check it out with you guys and, of course, show it off to you and allowing me the opportunity to add this to my collection a little bit early. So again, thank you so much to Mattel. So in the comment section, let me know what you guys think of this, and of course, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.